Hello students. Till yesterday, I explained about various abiotic components like water, soil, temperature, light, atmosphere, climate, etc. Today, I am going to discuss about the response of living organisms towards all these abiotic factors. Before we start, we need to understand one point so clearly. Environmental conditions of any habitat, they never be constant. They always changes according to the time. That means sometimes we may experience it is very hot, sometimes it becomes very cold, sometimes it all of a sudden it rains. That means we can never be able to experience the same type of climatic conditions, the same type of environmental conditions all the time. Even if you take a single day also, morning the temperature it will be little less, whereas when it comes to afternoon the temperature it becomes very high, and when it comes to evening again the temperature slowly it starts coming down. That means throughout the day also we can't be able to maintain the same environmental conditions. So how biotic factors, that means living organisms, are responding towards various abiotic factors, that is our lesson today. And according to the response towards the abiotic factors, organisms are classified into three groups. The first one is regulators, second one is conformers, and the third one is partial regulators. Let us take one after one. Now we'll start the first one, that is regulators. In the name itself, they regulate. That means the organisms which has capacity to maintain homeostasis either by physiological or by behavioral means, then they are called as regulators. Students, if you remember, regarding this homeostasis, in the first chapter itself, when you are newly joined, in the first chapter itself I clearly explained about homeostasis. Homeostasis means the process of maintaining the internal environment constant from ever changing external environment. External environment, it may changes in any way, it may become hot or it may become cool, but our body temperature, our body osmoregulation, everything, it remains constant. This maintaining constant internal environment from ever changing external environment, it is called as homeostasis. Whereas the examples of these regulators are birds, mammals, few lower vertebrates and vertebrate species, etc. Whereas this is a very important point I am telling you. Many evolutionary biologists, they believe the success of mammals is due to the ability to maintain the constant environmental condition. That is the reason why mammals can be seen in almost all the ecological biomes, from right from poles to the deserts. Even deserts also you can be able to see human beings are living, whereas even poles also you can see human beings are living. Are even even human beings are also mammals. So we can be able to see human beings are distributed throughout this earth planet, because our success rate of our distribution is due to we are all regulators. And to explain you these regulators, I took one example straight from your NCRT textbook. This is the example I am going to explain now. This is the example I have taken it straight from NCRT textbook. Our human body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. But if you see what is homeostasis, maintaining the internal environment constant from ever changing external environment, that is called as homeostasis. Now our internal environment is 37 degrees centigrade. This is our body temperature. Our body internal temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. Now you can see this graph. Here you can be able to observe this is our internal body environment, and here this is an external environment. Here I have started the temperature from 10 degrees, 20, 30, 40, 50. So our temperature here, I clearly mentioned our temperature, it is 37 degrees centigrade. See here, I somehow somewhere here, that means around 37, I have drawn one line here. So this is our body temperature. Did you notice it very clearly? This is the external environment. Even under 20 degrees centigrade also we are maintaining 37 degrees centigrade only. Even at 30 degrees centigrade also our body temperature is 37 only. Even at 40 our body temperature is 37. Even at 50 also our body can be able to maintain the same degree of temperature. That means whatever the temperature outside, but our body temperature, it remains at 37 degrees centigrade, unless if we have some disorders or some diseases or maybe fever or any other symptoms. But exceptional, if you remove these exceptional cases, rest all the usual cases may our body, it maintains 37 degrees centigrade only. So hope you understand this graph. Students, from this particular topic, graphs are very very important. If you don't understand how to draw this graph, whatever we are going to discuss, it is going to be wasted. So please read these graphs properly. And again, for your better understanding, again I'm explaining this graph. Let us take this is y-axis and let us consider this is x-axis. In y-axis I have taken internal body temperature, whereas here outside environmental temperature. Now here I have taken from 10 degrees, 20, 30, 40, 50. Whereas externally also I have taken external environmental temperature also I have taken 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Now at 10 degrees centigrade also our body temperature is maintained at 37. At 20 degrees centigrade also our body temperature is maintained at 37. 30 also 37 degrees, 40 also 37 degrees, and even 50 also our body has capacity to maintain the 37 degrees centigrade temperature. That's why straight line can be seen if you plot a graph to explain about regulators. And this graph, it is many times asked in your NEET exam, so please read this graph carefully. Now, as I clearly mentioned, our body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. Let us take, this is summer. If you take summer, in summer, the temperature may touch even 42, 43 also. So let us take, but still our body temperature is 37. Now, in the second case, during winter, the temperature may come to 24, 22 also, but still our temperature is 37. So straight line. And how this is possible, you will get this doubt. How this is possible? Our body, it belongs to regulator mode. So what happens in summer, our body starts catching the heat, because always the heat, it travels from high intensity to the low intensity. Our body is low intensity, whereas outside it is high intensity, so it starts from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient. So slowly our body starts catching the heat and start getting heated up. When our body slowly started getting heated up, in our skin you can be able to see some sweat glands. Immediately these sweat glands, they start releasing some sweat, and this sweat, it cooled down our body and finally maintains 37 degrees centigrade. Now let us take the second case. In winter, the temperature, it starts coming down, but ideally we need to maintain our temperature at 37 degrees centigrade, but outside temperature is dropping. But how we are maintaining? Immediately our muscles, they started shivering. It is a kind of friction. Muscles, you know this very well, always muscles are present in form of bundles, and when these two muscle bundles, they started shivering, some friction, it will be generated, so that due to this friction some heat, it will be generated in our body. Due to this heat generated due to the shivering, it again raises the temperature to 37 degrees centigrade. So finally, any change in the external climatic condition, our temperature is finally it is maintained at 37 degrees centigrade. That's why human beings are considered as regulators. Hope you understand. Whereas this particular mechanism is absent in plants. Slowly you will understand little more better when I'm explaining about conformers. Now we will take conformers. This is the second one. I already told you organisms are classified into three types. The first one is regulators, the second one is conformers, and the third one is partially regulators. Now I am taking the second one, that is conformers. Conformers means organisms which are not able, here not able, they can't be able to maintain the homeostasis. So organisms which are not able to maintain their internal environment constant, then they are called as conformers. Regulators means they can be able to maintain their internal environment constant. Conformers means they can't be able to maintain their temperature constant or internal environment constant. Then how they manage towards the external conditions? Here I clearly mentioned the body temperature changes with the changes in the temperature. That means they mold according to the place where they are living. And very surprisingly, 99% of the population are animals and also plants, they belongs to the category conformers. This is very important point and it is already asked in your exam also. 99%, and this is a straight question. Usually it comes like straight in NEET, they don't trick you in any other way. Direct straight question come from this. 99% of the organisms, they are what? Regulars, conformers, or partial regulators. Then you have to choose the option conformers. And how I'll explain you by taking 2-3 examples. In small animals like shrews and also hummingbirds, the heat loss or heat gain is function of surface area because they're very small. If they live in polar regions, they tend to lose their body heat more. That's why they are restricted to particular climatic zone. I already told you, you remember it or not, they are restricted towards certain climatic conditions only. That's why you can't be able to see all the organisms and all the habitats. You can, let us take gymnosperms, very easy example. By this example you can clearly understand. You can be able to see gymnosperms can be seen mostly in Himalayan conditions. Let us take polar bear. Polar bear, it is restricted to the polar regions. For example, just for experimenting, if you bring polar bear to this tropical region, it cannot be able to survive because it cannot be able to regulate. It is a conformer. Conformers means it changes according to the habitat where it is present. That's why they're restricted to the specific habitats. They can't be able to distribute throughout the habitats, and or all the habitats may you can't be able to see these particular organisms. They are restricted to certain habitats, then they are called as conformers. Hope you understand. Students, if you don't understand, you can WhatsApp me. Conformer means, again I am telling you, these are the organisms which are changing according to the external conditions, but they can't be able to maintain their temperature or internal environment constant. That's why they are restricted to specific zones only. And very surprisingly, 99% of the organisms, that includes both animals and also plants, they are conformers. Now let us take the third one. The third one is partial regulators. Partial regulators means, this is, I can say, it is an intermediate between regulators and conformers. See, you can understand, some animals which has capacity to regulate, but up to some limit. Beyond that particular limit, they turns to be a conformer. Then they are called, that means up to some limit they can be able to tolerate, they can be able to maintain their internal environment constant, but beyond that you can't be able to, or sorry, they can't be able to resist, so they starts becoming conformers, then they are called as partial regulators. That's why you can see this is what I already explained while I'm explaining about conformers. Conformers means like this. So let us take, this is the temperature 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees and 50 degrees, and this is external environment, this is the body temperature. Now the organisms which are living in polar regions, now let us take polar bear. The body temperature it is maintained, outside temperature is 10, their body temperature is also maintained at 10. Let us take some X organism. If outside atmosphere is 20, they also maintain at 20. That means not exactly 20, but somewhere here. That means according to the external conditions, they are going to maintain their internal condition. That's why you can be able to see a straight line. What is the meaning of this straight line? Because according to this condition, external condition, their internal condition is also maintained. See here, 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 30, 40, 40, even 50, 50. Like that, towards the external environment, they maintain the internal environment, but they can't be able to change, sorry, they can't be able to maintain it constant. This is called conformers. Whereas here, up to some limit, it is regulator, but after some limit it is declining. That means you can recollect the conformers graph, whereas you can recollect the regulator graph. This is a regulator graph and this is conformers. That means up to some limit they can be able to maintain their body internal environment constant, but beyond this particular limit they start becoming like conformers. That's why you can be able to see this type of graph under partial regulators. Sir, how this is possible? This is possible either by migration or by suspension. I'll explain both of it one after one. Let's take migration first. Migration means ability of an organism to move temporarily to a certain area where the conditions are well. That means what happens in this, they are temporarily moving from one place to another place. That means let us take here, the place where it is living, the temperature has become very high. Then what happens, they will go to a cold temperate region for some time, and again they will come back to their actual region when the conditions become fine here. That means this is a temporary movement just to escape their stressful condition. That is called as migration. Migration means the process of temporary movement of an organism from one habitat to another habitat, and when the conditions become fine in their actual habitat they again come back. This process it is called as migration. And migration it is of three types. The first one is daily migration, and the second one is periodic migration, and the third one is seasonal migration. Daily migration means every day they will go out, maybe for food collection or maybe to do some other job, something like that, but finally by evening, or by late evening, finally they come back to their actual habitat. Then that is called as daily migration. And this, the best example is birds. Birds every day morning they will go and they go out and they find their food, and again by evening they will come back. And the next one is periodic migration. Periodic migration means due to certain needs, they will change one place to another place. And this best example is some fishes for breeding or for egg laying, they changes the place from one place to another place. After breeding or after egg laying, again they will come back to their actual habitats. And that is called as periodic migration. And most important one is seasonal migration to avoid stress. I'm really sorry, I forgot something. A periodic migration, again it is of two types. The first one is anadromous and next one is catadromous. Anadromous means if fishes are migrating from sea water to fresh water, then that is called as anadromous migration. And best examples are hilsa and salmon fishes. Whereas catadromous means migration from freshwater to seawater that is called as catadromus, and the example is eel fishes. Whereas the third one is seasonal migration. Seasonal migration is all about to avoid the stress. And again, seasonal migration, it is of two types. The first one is a short distance migration and long distance migration. Let us take the first one. If the migration, they are moving from one place to another place, but it is of very short distance, then that is called as a short distance migration. Whales are best examples for short distance migration, and these migrations in search of food in winters to some warmer places, and this is a short distance migration. And long distance migration is they move very far, then that is called as a long distance migration. The best examples I took here: arctic tern bird, and also Siberian bird. I think I need not to explain you more, because every one of you, almost every one of you know this Siberian bird. Arctic bird, very, very surprisingly, this is the longest migrating bird. It moves from one pole to another pole, completely from Arctic to Antarctic and Antarctic to Arctic pole. For example, Arctic pole mein summer is coming. Already Arctic region is very cold. If again winter comes, it becomes still more colder. That's why it immediately escapes and comes to Antarctic. And now Antarctic may again, if the winter comes, again it becomes colder, again it escapes to Arctic. So it migrates from one pole to another pole. This is a very peculiar and longest migration exhibited by Arctic tern bird. And Siberian bird, every one of us know, Siberian birds, they moved to Kelado National Park, which is present in Rajasthan, Bharatpur. They come during winters and they spend all the winter, again they go back. So this is a very easy example that every one of us know. And the next one is partial regulation can be done in two ways: migration and suspension. Migration we completed. Now we are discussing about suspension. Suspension means it's a temporary metabolic inactivation of organisms under unfavorable conditions. That means if the conditions are not suitable, temporarily it will suspend all its metabolic activities. And this is a temporary suspension of this metabolic activities by an organism during unfavorable conditions called as suspension. And suspension के लिए I brought three examples. The first one is hibernation. Especially hibernation and also estivation, it will be exhibited by cold-blooded animals. This famous example, frogs, they never come out during winter because they are already cold-blooded. Outside atmosphere is cold. If both becomes equal, the organism will die. That's why all the winter season it go into a burrow, and it will spend the complete winter in that burrow itself, and again when the favorable conditions come, it will come out. Then that is called as hibernation, which is very simply called as winter sleep. And exactly opposite is summer sleep, which is called as estivation. If they are sleeping in the summers, and whenever the favorable conditions come, again they are coming out, then that is called as estivation. And examples here are some fishes and some snails. Whereas the most important one is diapause. Diapause means here during unfavorable conditions, some zooplanktons, they suspend their metabolic activities. The temporary suspension of metabolic activities by zooplanktons that are present in lakes or ponds, then that is called as diapause. Now this is a graph which is a very, very important graph. It is showing all the three types of organisms that are regulators. Second one is conformers, and third one is partial regulators. And usually how the questions will come in neat, if you take that, they will give this same graph and they will ask A, B, C, and they will ask you to identify, or otherwise they will ask they will ask only A, and they will give explanation towards this particular A. That means by this explanation you need to identify what is this particular A, or it may be B, or it may be C. So usually this is the way the questions will come in the NEET. So here this is external atmosphere, and this is I'm really sorry, this is internal atmosphere, and this is external. Whereas internal body atmosphere, it it is measured in terms of temperature. Here I have drawn temperature, and this is a straight diagram I have taken from NCRT. Here we have taken temperature, and here also we have taken temperature, but it is of external atmosphere. Now let us take the regulators. Under any temperature, they are maintaining their constant internal body temperature, so it is regulators. And uh, this conformers, according to the outside temperature, they are maintaining their body temperature. If it is 10 10, 20 20, 30 30, 40 40, like that, it is according to the external temperature, but they exactly don't have their own internal climatic conditions. They are maintaining their internal atmosphere according to the external climatic conditions. That's why they're called as conformers. Whereas partial regulators, up to some level, they comes under regulators, but after that, at a point, they can't remain as regulators. They are dropping towards what? Conformers. Then this is called as partial regulators. Hope you understand. Thank you so much.